Golfers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to hit your driver. We're going to talk about a couple of issues I see on a regular basis, not only on the lesson tee, but also on the golf course, and how that translates from the lesson tee into the golf course. Having an understanding of your own golf swing, what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, and how that's culminating into a lot of issues before we actually hit the golf ball. Biggest thing I always say when people are struggling with driver, it's understanding the things that we can control before we hit the golf. No one knows that driver is the club that goes the furthest, but it's also the club that gives us the most error if we don't hit it right out the middle of the club face. Many people who struggle with driver hit the ball a little bit too low and a little bit too much out the heel. They catch it a little bit necky. That gives us the most spin. What you want to do is you want to optimise driver, meaning that the contact point is slightly higher in the face. So if we hit it slightly higher in the face, it launches the ball a little bit higher, but also reduces the amount of spin. I'm going to take you through 3 issues I see on a regular basis, which is plaguing your golf swing and also it's hindering your ability to hit driver. Error number 1 I see is a lot of golfers will place the golf ball a little bit too far back in the stance. They'll get their hands a little bit too far ahead. Great for an iron shot, not so good with driver. How much loft we've got on the driver is going to affect the initial launch, so how high the ball launches off the face. So what we need to do is we need to get the ball in a good position that's going to help us achieve that. So don't get the ball position too far back in the stance, the hands too far ahead. And if you think about the upper part of your chest and also the lower part where your pelvis is, people get the chest too far ahead of the golf ball. So the zip on my jumper gets too far ahead in front of the golf ball. My weight gets a little bit too far into my left side of the dress. From here, as we swing back, the left shoulder works down too quickly. And then as we come into impact, instead of the left shoulder working up through impact, where the left shoulder should work up as quickly as possible as we hit the golf ball, the left shoulder moves down and then it moves forward. And then from there, it doesn't recoil back up. So it stays pretty much down towards the ground all the way through. Chest stays down towards the ground too long. What's going to happen from there? The club's going to hit the ground after the golf ball and you're generally going to struggle with your low point. So the club's lowest point is going to be slightly after the golf ball. A good indication to use is start with your feet together. You're going to turn your left foot out. Take a big step with your right foot. So the left foot's slightly flared. If you're at 12 o'clock on a clock face, your left foot should be at 10 o'clock. Take a bigger step with your right foot. So if you think about where your left ear is, a really good drill I covered in a previous video. If you put your left hand on the grip end of the club should point in correspondence with your left ear. Many people who struggle with driver rotate their upper body into the backswing. Your left ear and chest move too far ahead of the golf club, and then from there, as you can see, my chest gets too far ahead of the golf ball. Many golfers who struggle with driver, they rotate nicely into the backswing, but then as they start down, the upper body gets too far ahead of the lower body. Start with your feet together, turn your left foot out, big step with your right foot. We're going to encourage a little bit of tilt, so take your right hand, slide it down to your right knee. Use this drill where the grip end of the club's pointing towards your left ear. In the anatomy of an upper body at address, the left shoulder is slightly higher compared to the right shoulder. So the structure of my upper body, left shoulder's a little bit higher, right shoulder's a little bit lower. Then as we come back into impact, the left ear always stays in correspondence with the grip end of the club. I almost feel like my left ear goes slightly behind the golf club on the way back. What that's going to do is it's going to allow me to stay slightly behind the golf ball. Then as I come back into impact, if I get my left ear slightly behind the golf club, it's going to allow me to get behind it to start off with, and then stay behind that impact. Then as we come back into impact, this is a really good feeling. So when we get to the top of the backswing, upper body and lower body is rotated. As we start to work down, so my left shoulder's working down and forward, but the next piece to this puzzle is trying to get my left shoulder to work up and back as quickly as possible. So my left shoulder's going to work up and back as quickly as possible. So we use that terminology of extension of the upper body. The club as a reference point, a little bit tilt at dress, the grip end slightly higher compared to the club head. As I rotate my upper body into the backswing, the grip end of the club's point inside my right foot. Then as I come back into impact, this grip end of the club's going to work down and then forward. But many people who struggle with driver, the grip end of the club working down too quickly. So the left shoulder goes down and forwards for too long into the downswing. And then as we come through impact, the left shoulder doesn't work up the way, and it continues to work straight down into the ground, and we don't allow this upper body to work out the way and open up and back as quickly as possible. Because what you'll find is if you work on that left shoulder working up and back as quickly as possible. You can see from here, my upper body's got some sort of extension where my chest starts to elevate towards the sky. My left leg pushes up and back, so my left hip's working up and back. My left leg starts to straighten and my pelvis is tucked under. If you struggle to hit driver, the feeling is, start with your feet together. Visualise that you're trying to get the ball position of the instep of your left foot. So turn that left foot out, take a big step with the right foot. Basically point the grip end of the club at your left ear. What's going to happen from here, we're going to encourage a little bit of tilt. So the feeling is track your right hand down to your right knee. From there, as you can see, that's going to encourage a little bit of tilt. Then I'm going to place my right hand on the golf club. So I'm going to grip the club with my left hand and then my right hand. The grip end of the club to point inside my right foot. Then as I come back into impact, the feeling is the grip end of the club is going to go down and forwards because the left shoulder is going to go down and forwards. As you can see from there, my chest points towards the ground in a flex position. Many people struggle with driver, keep the flex in their upper body too long, so the upper body outraces the lower body. The analogy of the left shoulder working up and back automatically creates a chain reaction that spirals down to my left hip, clearing out the way. My left leg starts to straighten. I can also feel like all my pressure's into my left side, and this is going to translate into more success for driver. So I feel like it's a domino effect. My left shoulder goes up and back, then my left hip goes up and back as my left leg starts to straighten, and all my pressure's going to go into my left heel. As you can see from there, my upper body's got some sort of extension, my pelvis is tucked under, and then from there, the feeling is I'm trying to feel like I get my chest to face the sky as quickly as possible in the follow through. This is all contributed by the left shoulder. We're trying to get the left shoulder to work up and back, and that is the feeling that's going to create this domino effect, the chain reaction. If the left shoulder goes up and back as quickly as possible, what you'll start to see from there, if my left shoulder goes up and back, my chest is going to start to extend towards the sky. Everything's going to face forward. I'm pushing my left hip up and back through the correspondence to my left leg starting to straighten, so my left shoulder's going to work up and back. That's the feeling that you're missing within your golf swing. Swing club back, the grip end of the club's going to point inside my right leg. As I come down into impact, my left shoulder's going to work down and forwards. Only feeling, if you struggle with driver, try and get your left shoulder to work up and back as quickly as possible. So I address my left shoulder is the same line as the grip end of the club. Down, I want to get my left shoulder to accelerate higher than where the grip end of the club is. So left shoulder has to go higher than the grip end of the club. So left shoulder goes up and back from there. As you can see, that's going to allow my chest to extend, and it's also a good two-part drill that's going to allow you to generate a little bit more consistency with your driver. Guys, there's two simple drills that you can generate a little bit of feedback from. We're trying to get your upper body to stay a little bit more behind the golf ball impact and the sensation and feeling from there. If you struggle with driver, you're going to put the club against your shoulders. Many people who struggle with driver get the extension of the body happening a little bit too late into the downswing. So it's the feeling we want our chest to extend towards the sky a little bit earlier in the downswing. The feeling from here is you're going to get your left shoulder to work down and then forwards. The missing ingredients is the left shoulder has to work up and back. Hand next to your left knee. Left hip's going to work up and back. So my left hand, the left hip's going to go up and back. The left shoulder's going to go up and back. If there's any element or subject within your golf swing that you're struggling with during this moment in time, feel free to comment below with anything you'd like me to cover in future videos. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Every time I post a video, you'll receive a notification below with anything you're struggling with within your game at this moment in time.